Hey, man.
What's up?
I like your sweater.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's chilly outside. It's a Target sweater. It's all right.
Oh, really? Target?
Yeah, Target. This week's episode is brought to you by Target. We actually skipped all lower level sponsors and went straight for the big ones.
Yeah. And they actually turned us down. But
Well,
we
no.
said, you can't stop us.
They came after us because they're trying to incorporate more plus size models. You know, have you seen that at Target?
Yeah.
They really are. Things I learned last night. TILLN it. What are you doing, Tim?
Oh, I'm just logging on to patreon.com.
What's Patreon?
Oh, it's just a website where you can support all your favorite content creators.
Hey, we're content creators.
Hey, if you like Things I Learned Last Night, make sure you support us on Patreon. Doing that, we'll make sure that you can watch episodes ad-free. You can ask us questions about the episode or just about like us because we're weird and it's fun. So support us online. That's TILLN.com/join. That's JO lowercase L in. Well, hey, man.
What's up?
Have you ever heard of Norilsk?
Ew. It's called Norway.
Nope.
Dude, you're never going to get it right. You call it Norwegia, Norilsk. It's like, dude, it's Norway.
Wait, hold on. Really?
Yeah.
Say that again?
Now you say it
Now.
again. Now, you can't come at me for how I pronounce things when you're constantly just like, yeah, I think it's
Not true.
Norway.
Norilsk.
Okay. How do you spell Norilsk?
N.
Thank you. Thank you.
N.
There you go.
O.
I don't like that I had to prompt you for the inside joke, but it's still worth
R.
it. Nork.
I.
K.
L.
No, not K.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Nori.
N-O-R, lowercase L, uppercase I. Wait, no. N-O-R, uppercase I, lowercase L, S-K.
Norilsk.
Norilsk.
Okay. I think you're making it up, but we'll go with it.
Me too.
Is that actually how it's spelled?
Yeah, that is how it's spelled.
Did you reconnect to the internet when you open this back up?
Yeah, it's loading right now.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, that is disappointing. But luckily, I already had the page open, so
Great.
we're fine.
Norilsk.
Yeah. Luckily, I download all of the pages that
Norilsk
we
sounds like one of those like fake milks. You know? They're just like, are you lactose intolerant? Try Norilsk.
Try Norilsk. Made with 100% not milk.
I'm just thinking of silk, I think, but
Silk milk.
well, yeah. What's the one? Is it called
Condensed
Lactaid?
silk.
Is there one called
Lactaid?
Lactaid?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just like, hey, listen, you know what's appetizing? Lactaid. Give me a good old glass of Lactaid.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. You could have come with a better name.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah.
Their commercials are pretty funny though. It's got that farmer standing in front of the cows, and he's like, "Some people think that this isn't real milk. It is real milk, just without the lactose.
It's real milk just without the milk.
Well, no, it's like he's like, this is real milk without the lactose, and then he points to these cows behind him. He goes, "If this isn't real milk, then those are just field puppies." And you're like, "What?" It's pretty funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, Norilsk, not milk. It is a city in Russia.
Okay.
That is quite possibly the worst place on planet Earth.
I don't know, man. You ever been to Branson?
Yeah.
Is it worse for different reasons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Norilsk.
Branson's pretty bad because it's kind of like Whitewater is like a normal place to go. You know, where you show up and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot this is what normal society was like. And then you walk outside of Whitewater and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah. Norilsk is a city in northern Russia.
Okay.
With a population of 179,000 people.
Okay, good chunk.
Good size city.
Good group of people.
It's actually the second largest.
Good little pack. It's a pack of people.
Check out my pack of people.
Good.
I got a pack of people.
I was trying to think of a word for group that starts with N. What am I thinking? I don't know. I don't know.
Population?
That doesn't start with the letter N, but we'll go with it.
I thought you said P.
Okay. I was trying to think of the Nor.
A number?
What, is it Norilsk?
Norilsk.
Norilsk gang. It's got an N in it. I don't know. I was trying.
The
179,000 people who live in northern Russia, Norilsk, making fake milk.
Milk. It's not milk. It's milk.
I don't like that.
It is.
The way you said "us" sounds like we cut the audio. It sounds like we didn't, but it
like,
sounds like I was like, I don't like that. Anyway. Okay, go ahead.
It's like those YouTubers that like do the
yeah,
vlogs.
it's like a hard cut, and you're like, what
vlogs.
did you say?
It's like, what you cutting out? Yeah, so that's that. It is the world's northernmost city with a population of over 100,000. It's actually the second largest city in the Arctic Circle.
I see.
After a city called, I wonder if you could guess what it's called. You can't. I'd be. I mean,
Norilsk.
No, it's Murmansk. Who's naming these cities?
I don't know.
The Russians. Anyways, it's a rough place, man. Well, let's start with just naturally why it's so tough.
It's northern Russia.
Northern Russia.
Which is basically the North Pole.
Yeah, so it's a tundra. So that means it's
a good tundra.
Yeah.
It's a tundra.
Is that from something?
It's from the commercials for Toyota Tundra. It's a tundra.
Yeah, so the
they try to sell trucks to like manly men, so they gotta get like that guy who's just rugged. He's like, we could do the Ido commercials for Toyotas.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah. Toyota Tundra. We got some big catches as TILLN. We were like, we got Target and we got
Toyota
Tundra.
Target.
Now the
Toyota.
Highlander is a different voice. The Highlander, we're trying to get those suburban moms, so we gotta be like, this is the all new Toyota Highlander. We gotta say it like that every time. Highlander.
Nice.
But this is a Tundra.
Yeah, the city is nestled right in the bed of a Toyota Tundra. The whole city.
Why did you say nestled? It's nestled in the bed of a Toyota Tundra. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
Norilsk in the bed of a Toyota Tundra.
So there is. It's in the tundra.
That does sound like a terrible place.
Yeah, it's in the tundra. Very cold. There's not a single natural tree in the city.
Oh.
They planted some, but there's not a single tree that was there when they got there. I mean, they do their best.
They got there. 179 people show up, and one person's like, "There's no darn trees here."
It's like, guys, there's no trees. They're like, oh.
Everyone was like, "Oh wow,
Oh man, I didn't notice that."
Let's make that guy the mayor." He noticed there's no trees here.
He started making like paper mache trees and setting them up, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, you got trees to grow here?"
It's like, what are those? He's like, "Do you remember trees?" And they're like, "We've been in the tundra for."
It's newspaper. It's crumpled up newspaper that I got really wet. Stuck to some pipe cleaners.
It's a tundra. They're frozen paper mache trees. What kind of are they? Evergreen trees? What kind of trees are out there?
I mean, I think they just.
What are they planting pear trees out there?
They're palm trees. They're like, we just want to make just feel better.
Really be obnoxious. So they're just planting trees out there.
Yeah, they planted some. There's not a lot of trees.
Okay,
it's literally the Wikipedia article.
I want them to have one tree.
It literally says only a few trees exist in Norilsk.
What a weird fact to have on there.
That's yeah.
So far, if you're having trouble keeping up, because I am, the city is in the back of a Toyota Tundra. And
that's why no trees grow.
It's not fertile soil.
Truck beds are not good for trees.
Not great. And there's a few trees because one person showed up and was like, "Y'all have been out here without any trees?"
We need some trees.
And they were like, "What are trees?" And he's like, "Well, boy howdy, y'all just wait. So I'm gonna get some trees."
Well,
I feel like they're talking and they don't. They're definitely not Russian accents. They're out there just
out of there, cowboy.
Hot dang.
Well, shoot, dang, it's cold.
Man, I was trying to go to Kentucky, but I ended up in the Tundra. That's real dumb. All right. So this is off the rails pretty quick.
Yeah.
You want to start over?
Yeah. No.
We're too far in. All right. So
this place is covered in snow for
Yes.
roughly 250 to 270 days of the year. There's snow on the ground.
are yours the same length over there? I'm sorry.
Yeah, they are. They're the same length.
Okay.
So get this. The winter in Norilsk is 9 months long. And so that gives you...
So that gives you like, you got what, 65? You got like 95 days to knock her up. And then you're pregnant all of the winter.
All winter.
And then what do they
can
what
time
do they
that
call
just
that
right.
season in between? That
So
3 months.
So that 3 months, there's kind of like a 2 month like
they don't
mini
call it
spring.
okay.
Or a 2 week like mini spring.
Okay.
And then there's your 2 month summer and then like a 2 week mini fall. But here's the kicker. As if 9 months of winter wasn't bad enough.
Yeah.
You suffer through all of that. And then you hit summer and then you get what they call the midnight sun. Because for the 2 month summer, it is daytime 100% of the time. For 2 months straight. The sun doesn't set.
Right.
It literally...
And they make you read that new Stephanie Meyer book, Midnight Sun, every day.
Every day.
Actually, they read it over the speakers because they didn't have trees, but they've got speakers out there.
Naturally. They
And the
just occurred in the wild.
sound carries because it's a tundra.
And there's no trees to stop
And so
it,
it's because is it Midnight Sun? Though? Is that the book by Stephanie Meyer that came
Here,
out?
let me look it up.
Do you know what it is? It's Twilight from
Yeah,
Edward.
actually it is.
Yeah,
It
when
is
you said
Stephanie-
it, I was like,
Stephanie Meyer.
I hate that.
That's incredible. I've never even heard of that.
Every year they had to read it.
Every
Starting
year.
this year because it came out this year, but like now they've made an annual tradition. So it doesn't say. So like they have to do the whole like close blinds and do the whole like.
No, they just suffer.
Yeah,
Like this, it's,
dude, how
day.
disorienting would that? Because I mean,
Yeah.
there's parts of Alaska that do that too, right? Yeah. So how disorienting would that be?
Yeah.
To like wake up
to wake up
3 in the morning
Yeah.
and it's just
I feel like have you ever had that happen where like you stay up really late but you like haven't like looked outside and then you look outside you're like, oh crap, it's nighttime. But then they'd never get that.
no. I am responsible.
Okay, shut up.
I always know what time it is. Ask me what time it is right now.
What time is it?
Do it.
What time is it? Tell me. Don't look at the watch.
Sorry. Okay. Ask me again.
What time is it?
It's 3:06.
You looked at your watch.
I didn't.
Yes,
I just
you did.
knew it.
You looked at your peripherals.
Ask me later.
Okay, I will.
Do it.
At an undefined time. Give me your watch.
Oh,
Give me your
I'll
watch.
give you my watch.
Give me
Don't,
your
don't
watch.
even mess with me.
And I'm not even. You got
I
a
don't have
clock
any
in
other
this room
clocks in
somewhere.
here.
All right,
I don't
put this
need
in my
them.
pocket.
That watch doesn't even work. That's a broken watch. That would be super funny if it didn't.
There actually is one of the.
All right. Well, don't talk about how broken it is. I gotta take it to I gotta take it to a watchman.
Oh.
I gotta take it to or a watchwoman. I don't know. I gotta take it to a watch doc.
Doc Watch.
Doc watch.
I'm Doc Watch.
I gotta take it to a watch hotch.
The octopus tentacles are watches, but just the leather parts with the clips on the end.
Yeah.
Doc Watch.
Yes. Doc watch.
Doc Watch.
I got so I have a broken watch. Whatever.
All right.
This is
hey,
probably
what time is it?
Okay, it's 3:08 p.m.
Okay, whatever.
All right.
All right. So here's the kicker.
It's sunny all summer,
It's sunny all summer.
which means there's no nighttime.
That's what that means.
So
And the summers actually get
they don't
pretty
have
hot.
any
It
kind of
gets-
nightlife.
It gets up,
Do they have a point of the year where it's 2 months dark?
yeah, I was just about to say that.
Okay.
Right in the dead of winter when you think
When you think
"Man,
this can't
I'm-"
get worse.
It does, because it does the winter twice.
Could you imagine not knowing that though? Could you imagine like just living up there and you're just like, wow, this is a pretty crazy winter we're having.
Yeah.
This is like a horror movie where the next day like you're just like, is the sun not gonna?
Is it? Yeah. At what point do you realize that?
You know
that's
that they
just
do
what
this.
It is.
We talked about this at MK Ultra. They do this to torture people.
Yeah,
They do
yeah.
the whole like
To ship them up there.
disorient like
Yeah.
they shift
time.
your day and time kind of stuff.
yeah.
Like like you have to be on a regimen if you live there.
Oh,
Do they
totally.
have? I guess what I'm wondering, what do they do for jobs there?
We'll get.
Are we gonna get there? Because I'm
Yeah, we'll get to
wondering
that.
like during that 2 months of just sun, like are there people who like flip schedules and they're just like we're out. It's 3 a.m.
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
it's light.
if it's daytime.
If it's sun's up, I'm up.
Like, yeah, there's probably someone who's just like, I mean, I'm gonna stay up all summer. I'm gonna maximize my summertime.
You think there's a person in Norilsk?
Yeah, he's like, I'll sleep all through
Yeah.
noonday moon.
Who's like, I'm on the grind. you say noonday moon? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
They call it noonday moon?
Because it's midnight sun, noonday
and
moon.
That's a mouthful. What if someone goes, oh, hey, you guys, what are you guys doing for moon day noon? And someone goes, did you say moon day instead of noonday?
Yeah, they excommunicate him.
Oh, idiot.
You idiot. Moon day noon.
I bet you're going to say there's no trees here either.
Because you'd be wrong.
So,
we got one on the town
What do they
square.
actually call the dark night?
The dark night. They call it polar night.
Polar night.
Polar night.
Which is actually Stephanie Meyer's next book.
I'm actually gonna
Dude,
look
if
it
she releases Polar Night, I'm going to freaking fist fight her.
up.
So, it's Midnight Sun.
Polar night is the opposite of midnight sun.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if that actually is a book.
It's
'cause
not
I
a
bet it is.
book.
I bet it is.
Yeah,
Yep,
but it's
it
a
is.
bedtime
It's a
story
book
about
by-
polar bears.
It's a book by Mark Mahaney.
Oh, yeah, Mark Mahaney.
It's actually a documentary about him in the polar night. So that's I was hoping
Relevant
it'd
to
be a vampire
Norilsk.
book. Yeah,
You were hoping it's going to be what?
a vampire book.
I was hoping it was going to be a story about polar bears who enjoy the nightlife.
So it's this risky polar bear.
It's like you see those polar bears drinking Cokes on the commercials.
What you don't know is they're Jack and Cokes because they like to party.
Yeah. I'm glad you went there. I was going to go like other Coke. That's
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Interesting. Yeah. So it's one of those places where you would figure the settlers that traveled to there would be like, yeah, probably
We don't
not a
wanna
good
live
place
here.
for our
Yeah.
city, but they did anyways. They were like, let's do this.
Where's the place that people would least expect us to live? Let's do it.
It's like Phoenix. Like why did that happen? Like for real.
I don't know, dude. We just got a huge listenership in Phoenix, and you just ruined them on this podcast.
No. Phoenix is one of my
It is a
favorite
little bit
cities.
like I'm flying in, and I'm like, have you seen how hard the lines in Phoenix are?
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense. Like nothing about it is like it's incredibly difficult to make a city function in Phoenix. But we did it.
I mean, yeah, there's effort for sure.
It's because we're full of ourselves.
Yeah, I think they were like, oh, we got air conditioning. We can live anywhere, which is like the same thing that people are like, we can live on the moon.
They did Phoenix before air conditioning.
Did they? I don't know.
Yeah, Phoenix was started.
I mean, yeah, it was there, but I'm saying like it didn't really start to blow up like that. The West expansion happened like the 50s and 60s.
No, it did not.
Yeah, and I said 50s.
50s.
Like some kind of, who am I? 50s? Yeah. Maybe not the 50s. Maybe the 20s, 30s. I don't know. Where was air conditioning before?
Whenever air conditioning started, that's when.
Have you ever heard of air conditioning? Tell me about that.
Yeah, what's air conditioning? Phoenix was founded.
I'm not talking about founding.
Okay, well, in 1867.
Okay, great. That was a good year.
Hold on, I'm trying to see when the population blew up.
But he's like looking at a chart of COVID cases, and he's like, looks like it happened this year.
Looks like this year it really erupted.
And this week, particularly. Are you trying to find Phoenix's population growth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why'd you say it like that? Yeah. What are you finding? There's just so much dead space. I don't want them to hear you breathing is why I'm talking right now. Stop it.
I think you actually might be right.
Oh, what was that?
It had just over 65,000 people in 1940.
Interesting.
And then after that, it started to blow up. When did air conditioning?
Oh, yeah, interesting. Huh. That's crazy. Does Jaron like know stuff? What is it? Huh. Does like Jaron like freaking read books?
Do you read books?
I read Polar Night. It's Twilight from Bella's dad's perspective.
Hey, man, nice shirt you're wearing.
Thanks. TILLN.com/merch. Where, oh my gosh. Uh-oh.
What?
Jaron might be right. No, go ahead, Tim. let's talk about air conditioning. Let me tell you the
Really?
history. First of all, Bob Hamilton.
Close. In 1758, Ben Franklin.
Invented air conditioning?
Well, he invented an early predecessor,
Yeah.
but it wasn't widely used.
He invented
until
those little
electricity
fans
was
that you hold at
invented.
theme parks that you squeeze the little mist through.
And it's
And he's like, this is amazing. I
and
don't
it's Donald Duck like with his
Yeah.
and his bill is spinning. You're like, why
Yes,
isn't
and
his
you're
bill?
like,
why isn't his
whoa.
wings spinning? That doesn't make
And
sense.
Benjamin Franklin was like, I got shocked pretty hard with that whole key kite thing.
And everyone's like, what the frick is
Like,
this
dude,
duck?
after the whole key thing, he literally lost his mind. He started like drawing like cartoon characters and dreaming
But
of
yeah.
like he kept calling these things like coaster rollers. Like Ben Franklin,
Coaster
dude, what if he time traveled and came back and was just like, what if that's what happened? Like Ben Franklin time traveled,
Yeah.
and then went back and was just like, so he tried to make air conditioning. That was one of the things he tried to do.
He was like, it's so cool in the future.
And then people were like, dude, he lost his mind after that whole key thing.
He's like, guys, the future is so cool. And everyone's like, yeah, I bet it is. And he's like, no, it's
Like, dude, I'm
cool."
on the money. And they're like, oh, whatever, dude. That's how I know it's cool.
Yeah, we get it. You think yeah.
All right.
Gosh. So Norilsk.
All that. They don't even need air conditioning.
They don't.
In the summertime, what's the temperatures?
In the summer, the averages reach like the upper 80s. So I mean, there's a couple.
Really?
There's a couple days in the summer where it actually gets kind of warm. I mean, I guess it's one day. So there's one day in the summer where it's actually pretty warm.
Is that like record high though? Is that what I'm saying? Like,
No,
what's-
the average. Well, okay, let's see here. Record high is 89.6 degrees, and
really?
that was in July.
What's the low
summer.
get to?
The average low in the middle of summer is 50 degrees.
Okay.
Average high is 65, so pretty mild.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the polar night.
Oh, in the polar night. Okay, let's see.
How cold does it get?
So the record high in the polar night is 26 degrees Fahrenheit.
Great.
The average low is negative 23 degrees Fahrenheit. The average temperature is negative 16 in there. The record low is negative 64 degrees Fahrenheit. What?
Okay. So, for 2 months, it's like livable.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time, they just, what do they do?
Yeah. I don't know. Here's what's interesting is even outside the polar night during the winter, your average sunshine hours, it's like in March it's 5 hours, April it's 8 hours, and then you get up to like 10 and then the 24 hours. And then in August it goes back down to 6 hours, 3 hours in September, 2 hours in October. You like there's no even when there's sun in the winter, there's still not sun. That sucks.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So yeah, pretty rough place to live, just naturally. But let's take a
And then let's talk about the cultural climate up there, because that's really what makes it difficult. Naturally, it's already a pretty hard place to live. But then you add in that the neighbors suck.
yeah, all the neighbors, they're awful. Yeah, so let's take a look at a little bit of Norilsk's history.
Okay.
You could call it a listery.
What are you doing here? What are you doing?
I was trying to combine it. It didn't work as well as I thought it would.
Yeah.
Historical.
Historical.
Okay, so remember Noristical. Remember
Noristical?
Noril.
That sounds like a
Norilistic.
That sounds like Noristical sounds like what they would do during your physical, like when you go to the.
All right, now it's
Now it's time for the
your
Noristical
Noristic.
exam. That doesn't sound pleasant, you know. It doesn't sound fun.
So remember when I said that the climate of this place would make it be like, oh, why would anybody ever settle here?
Yes,
but
I do
somebody
remember.
Actually did. Well, that was a lie. Nobody actually ever settled there. It kind of happened. Let me explain.
Okay.
So remember,
No one like put their thing in the ground and said, "We are settling this here town."
yeah, nobody ever was like, yeah, let's make this a town.
Dude, we should do like historical reenactments. My voices have been pretty on par today. We could definitely do. This is Kansas City, Missouri. You know, I don't know.
pretty good.
I'm a voice actor now
Pretty good.
for hire.
I'm proud of you.
So no one really did that. All of a sudden, there just started to be people there.
Yep.
And then like 180,000 people have just been like, you know, I guess there's other people here. So
okay, so here's what happened.
Kind of like when you go to Golden Corral. You don't want to go there. If you're the only person eating at a Golden Corral, that's a weird place to be. So you kind of hang out in the parking lot. You see someone else going, you're like, I'll go to Golden Corral.
All right, I'll go too. I don't want to be the only one.
Remember when we walked into Golden Corral that one time and then your wife was like, I don't want to be here. So we went somewhere else instead. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
It was kind of like, hey, let's go there for the nostalgia of it. And we walked in and Bree was like,
yeah, this is.
I'm too picky. And we were like, okay.
It's the point. You can be picky here. There's options.
It's
designed.
Do what you want to do. It's a buff. And this was even pre-COVID. Like I would understand it now, but
yeah. So
that's the day I lost respect for.
So it started in 1935. It was 1935.
Okay.
And it was actually built as a gulag, which is.
It's 1935. That was their Airbnb. It's like, yeah, you going to get a gulag for the weekend?
I was gonna go. It was like a weird dish that they made.
Gulag sounds like a ride like they would make at an amusement park. I'm like, this is the gulag.
Yeah, that's actually pretty close. The gulag was gulags were forced labor camps run under Stalin's rule.
Oh, jeez. Rough.
So they were places.
Stalin did some really rough things.
He did.
And it seemed like in World War II, Russia really skated under the radar of Hitler.
They did.
They were like, so basically they did horrible stuff. They were doing the same horrible things. And then, you know, all the concentration camps in Germany get found out. Mm-hmm. And Russia goes, yeah, Germany's real bad. You know, and they really did just kind of like.
Yeah, did you guys see what Germany was doing?
It's not like they got away with it, but
they,
Germany comes out the awful enemy of World War II.
Yeah.
And Russia was just like, we were there.
We were there.
And they're like, what were you doing during World War II? We were there.
Remember Hitler?
You remember how bad Hitler was.
Yeah, Germany was pretty bad, right?
He drove those VW bugs. That's pretty crazy those, you know. Let's change the... Have you heard of... Norilsk? I just haven't thought of it.
Yeah, there it is.
It's pretty crazy. It gets cold there, man, and dark.
Dark
and cold. So they had a concentration camp there then.
Yeah, and so they called them political prisoners, which is really nice.
Great.
To say.
Yeah, which is better.
Slaves. They were slaves.
Better to say political prisoners.
Political prisoners.
That's it's more correct that way.
Yeah, it's more politically correct.
It is.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Leave that in because that looked fake. That looked so fake. Like I want people to see how not real that looked.
We pulled that sound off Soundstripe.
Soundstripe?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
That is a thing.
Who uses Soundstripe? Do you use Soundstripe, Alex?
I use Soundstripe.
Alex is like, I never heard of that. Soundstripe sounds like it's
literally
LimeWire.
Okay, it's trusted by Amazon, Microsoft, Tesla, Whole Foods, Movement. Your freaking watch, the watch that I have in my pocket. What time is it, Jaron?
It is 3:18.
Oh my god!
Is it really?
No.
What time is it then?
It's 3:21.
I was within 2 minutes. That's fine.
Oh my gosh! Guess who's trusted by Soundstripe?
I don't know.
Volkswagen, the Germans.
And they were really bad in World War II. Unlike us in Russia. We were fine.
Yeah. Anyways, so they started.
Russia's like a mother. Mother Russia.
Okay.
Mother can do no wrong.
Okay. They started.
But she did, dude. Anyway, go ahead. I was making room. Are you sneezing again? You seem like you were going to. Did you take a Benadryl today?
I did, but I feel like I'm getting affected. Maybe it's because the door's open.
Why'd you say it? I did.
I did.
Through your body.
I just want to dance.
I just gotta move. Come on, Mom and Dad. I gotta move.
No, Mom. Let me dance, Mom. Mom, I want to dance.
Dude, I don't know why people listen to this. Go ahead. Why are you here?
So somehow Stalin found out about a massive nickel and platinum reserve
underneath Norilsk.
What would have... I mean, Norilsk didn't exist yet.
Right. Underneath that area, though. Yeah.
there was like a massive volcano that erupted there like millions of years ago and made this gigantic reserve of just different ores. And so he's like, we need to mine that. And then everyone was like, well, I don't want to go there. And so then
he was like, oh, you're going to go there.
So he started a gulag there, and they started like this like government-owned company that would mine the nickel and the platinum. And there's also like
Yeah, go ahead.
Copper, cobalt, palladium, and coal there too, but not nearly as much. The nickel and platinum reserves, the nickel in Norilsk accounts for 1/3 of the nickel on the planet.
Oh,
and
geez.
The platinum accounts for almost half of the platinum on the planet.
In that area?
In that little region.
Wow.
Which is insane. It's just a massive deposit of nickel and platinum. A lot of other ores, but those two are the biggest. And so Stalin was like, yeah, we need to get that. And so he started his
camp.
Labor camps. Yeah. Camp Stalin.
Hey, guys, ready for a fun summer getaway at Camp Stalin? It's going to be great for 2 months.
Learn important skills like mining.
And seeing in the dark.
and going crazy because it's always daytime.
And how to build a heater out of nickel.
Camp Stalin.
Don't stall on signing up for Camp Stalin. Stop stalling and come to Camp Stalin. That's very rough. He probably killed a lot of those people. You should not laugh right now.
I know. I shouldn't.
Were the Stalin camps similar to the concentration camps in that like the whole point was to torture and murder people, or was it really just to like?
They were labor camps. They weren't.
They were more like, let's get this crap out of the ground.
Yeah, or like, I mean, let's build some stuff. Like they were exploiting them for labor. Right. Where like the Nazis
they were still
like,
the Nazis were exploiting them for labor and also just mass murdering them.
And they were doing like crazy like tests on them. Like the Soviets were just like build us stuff or get us
and
resources.
Also killing them. But
yeah, if you're not good enough at building us stuff.
Yeah.
So they
all of it's real bad.
It's all real bad. So it was a gulag for a really long time until Stalin was like, okay, yeah, we need to connect this to the rest of the world. And so he started building a railroad to Norilsk and was trying to turn it into like an actual urban city where people would live there, not just like the political prisoners.
Yeah, they're really trying to market it.
Yeah, this was after World War II. But what?
Do you hate the sun?
This commercial, this guy walks outside his house and he's like, what is that thing?
Do you like the nightlife? I love the dark. Well, we've got a place for you.
You're a fan.
I don't really want to go there. Too late.
You're already there.
You're going.
Yeah, and that's actually convenient because what they were doing is Stalin was trying to build a railroad system to connect it to the rest of Russia. Well, he died before that was finished, and the person who took his place was like, this is stupid. And so they stopped it. So
there's just half a train track?
Yeah, well, here's the thing about Norilsk. Up until recently, there was not anything that connected it to the rest of the world. Not a road, not a railroad, not an airport, not a seaport.
So did those people just get stranded out there?
They just lived there. Like there was no way in or out unless you just want to walk through.
So they got put in this labor camp.
Yeah.
And then Stalin dies.
Yeah.
And then they're just like,
we're here now.
Do we have to keep doing the?
Yeah. Are we still? Do we stay?
It's not like a Japanese holdout situation where they're just like still doing it, and then like one day someone wanders out there. And in the dead of the polar night.
Just wandering.
And like catches them on flashlight, and they're just out there like, we've been out here for centuries. You know? And you're just like, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, we're working. How's the war going?
For Stalin.
Yeah, my grandfather fought in this war, and my father, and then now I am part of it. How's the war? And you're like, the war ended a long time ago. And they're like, oh, I guess we just live here now. We've had many children. And we sound like little gnomes.
We have a... Let me sing you the song
like
of other people.
Norilsk gnomes.
Norilsk gnomes.
So they've just been living out there.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. If anybody's listening, that's not what happened. So basically, the labor camps just shut down, and then people were like, we don't have a way back.
Yeah, and they're like, well, we're here now. And so...
We've adjusted to the night.
Yeah, they're like, I guess we're used to this, and I guess this is our life now. And so for the longest time, there was no way in or out. Eventually, so that company that Stalin started to mine the city ended up becoming a private company after the fall of Soviet Russia, and like private industry was now allowed. And so that company stayed alive, became a private company.
Can we do an episode on Russia's economic system? Because I don't really know how they do stuff over there.
How they do that.
That I did say stuff, didn't I?
How they do stuff.
I don't know. I just got, pretty interested because they're going to take us over or whatever.
Yeah. It'd be nice to know.
I love to know about Russia and China because
go.
I'm pretty sure that we're going to be part of them soon. So,
so it wasn't until years later that they finally finished the railroad, and then recently they added an airport. But there's still not a road connecting Norilsk,
so you can't drive
Norilsk to the rest of the world. No, yeah.
You can. I mean, I've seen the ice road truckers do it.
I mean, I guess you're not
out there
like, there's no trees. So.
Yeah, you're not run anything.
Lots of polar bears, though.
But they're all like just drinking, stumbling around.
They're partying. They're partying hard. It's polar night. It's freaking polar night.
Dude, they look forward to it all year. They're like, polar night.
Night is here.
Oh, man. They're like a frat group.
The polar bears rage out there, man. You should see them jump on tables from their second story windows. It's crazy. They party hard. They got some cool TikToks. Those polar
What's
bears.
up, polar boys?
The polar boys are here.
Oh, yikes. I feel like that's going to be a cartoon.
The polar boys are back in Norilsk. It doesn't flow as well as the boys are back in town, but they say it anyways.
Yeah. Well, they haven't heard music. There's no way to get it to them. So there's out there 180,000 now.
Yep. 180,000 people.
What's life expectancy out there? Do we know?
It's pretty low. Let me. I can pull that up. And here's why it's so low. This company, it's called Nor Nickel. Clever.
Very clever. Yeah.
They
I would have called it Nor-Or, but yeah.
Nor-Or. The Polor.
The Polar Nor-Or.
Polar. Okay. So they kind of run the city because Russia doesn't really care about.
Yeah, they're just like, whatever.
They're like, yeah.
Oh, people are still out there? Okay.
Yeah, they're like, we just don't really care. So really,
what are we gonna do? Send people out there to check on them?
Yeah.
That's how they are too about everything. They're like, yeah. That's how Vladimir Putin is all the time. When he's not on camera, dude, he's just like chilling out. He's just there. Someone's like, "Hey man, you wanna go check on Norilsk?" And he's like, "Bleh. Whatever." Bleh. He's like a little 7th grader who's just like, "Bleh, bleh, dumb."
Yeah, so
no one so they just gotta run their own stuff out there.
Yeah, they kind of run the city. And so what's good about that is nothing.
What's good about that is that they've run it into the ground.
No, for real. They are literally.
Because how do they sell the nickel still? Like how do they sell how do they export it?
They sell everything. So they got the railroad now. So
okay.
they ship things out on the railroad. But they are not regulated at all. So it is.
Do they have internet?
Yeah, they have internet. They do have internet.
Okay.
It's not great, but they have it. But this company is not regulated at all. So they have turned Norilsk, a city with a population of 180,000, in the top 10 most polluted cities on the planet. It's unreal.
Well, it's crazy what you can get away with in the cover of night, you know.
It's always night, so nobody knows just how polluted. Like you look outside and like you don't see all the smog.
Yeah, it's like, well, it seems like our summertime is getting shorter. Is the sun ever come out now?
It's a cloudy night.
Pretty cloudy.
It's like you can't tell that's cloudy.
Yeah,
it's
but
night.
humans don't contribute to pollution, so I don't believe that.
So,
and if it's so polluted, why is the low 64 degrees below zero? Tell me that, Tim.
That's a good question. I don't have an answer to it.
Yeah,
so.
has there climate change?
Here's the thing.
If you're an anti-masker or a climate change denier, I don't give a crap.
They have polluted the city so bad that it is a regular occurrence for there to be what they call the blue fog, where this blue fog just engulfs the city.
Oh no, that's demons. That's demons for sure, dude. There's like a volcano eruption out there a million years ago. And now these people are just like, oh, we just built this town on top of all this nickel and ore and has half the platinum in the whole world. I'm sure there's just no demons who have an invested interest in these ores. Of course, we'll just set up shop here. Demons love material things.
Book.
I did read that in Stephanie Meyer's book. So they just love it. So it's like this blue fog that moves in.
Yeah, and if you breathe it, it gives you sores in your throat.
Oh, yikes!
Acid rain is also frequent.
That makes sense.
In the city, there is a river that runs along right along the city.
Dead fish.
Well, no, it's blood red. This blood red river.
What?
Because
year round.
I don't know. If
I'm wondering, like, if in the summertime it's just like very pretty there, and then it gets to nighttime and it's just like, and you're in the upside down, and you're like, what the heck is this place?
Yeah,
acid rain,
blood red water, this blue fog.
They probably like spin this for the tourism stuff. They're probably like just out here like handing out pamphlets, like, hey, come to Norilsk. We got the blue fog,
like the big blue hole. Oh, you weren't at that leg of that trip. Remember when we went to LA with your car and we blew out your brakes and we said we would buy them and we didn't buy them?
You did not pay for me. Yeah, that's fine.
We'll pay you back.
Okay.
When we were in New Mexico, we kept seeing all these for the
signs. Giant blue hole.
Yeah, for the giant. It was the big blue hole. See New Mexico's big blue hole. That's what it said. Tons of signs for miles and miles. And finally, we were like, let's just stop.
Let's go see the big blue hole.
And it's just this like honestly like perfect circle in the ground that's like hundreds of feet deep of just water. And so like it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. Like not even farms are out here. Like it's the middle of nowhere. And people come from all over to scuba dive in this big blue hole. Also, feral dogs are everywhere. Like there was, I kid you not, probably 40 dogs there.
Oh yeah.
With no owners.
Yeah. They're like, we found this big water bowl.
It's weird, man. It's a weird place.
Also, we don't like being called feral. It's Pharrell.
They're all excellent singers. Every dog
dogs.
is sitting there singing next to the hole.
And they have crazy big hats.
And they have giant hats and perfect pitch.
Why is that a detail that you were like, yeah, let's tell you about the feral dogs?
It was weird.
It's a big blue hole there.
We stopped and we ate our peanut butter and jelly. And
I
remember we had all the groceries.
I do remember those. Yep.
We ate peanut butter and jelly and looked at this hole, saw a bunch of dogs and left. It was weird. It's a weird place, the big blue hole.
Yeah, we were all in weird times in our lives, huh?
The big blue fog is what Norilsk has.
The blue fog. That's also the mascot of their high school football team. the blue fog.
Their chant is...
Yeah, the whole audience doing that. Dude, it's kind of eerie, actually. You know, you got the whole crowd. And there's all 180,000 people show up to the game because, like, what else is there to do in Norilsk, right? And it's like, it's always Friday. It's just Friday lights. Not even Friday night.
Lights.
It's just Friday lights. You know? So that's
Friday lights.
That's a pretty good joke.
It's like, we can see.
Yeah, that's the only reason they show up, too. That's the only lights in town. And then everyone in the audience just goes... And then there's no opposing team. So the blue fog has to play against the Red River. And then they just collide in the middle.
The Red River's chant is...
Yeah, they don't come up with a good chance there. They also don't have language. They all just communicate through sounds, the nature sounds.
They can't see.
Yeah, and you should see when the acid rain plays, dude. It's pretty wild. They have like those rain sticks. And then it's like... It's a very quiet experience. And it's American football for some reason, I guess. It's not even like soccer. In my head, it was American football they're playing.
Same.
Yep, in my head, they were playing American football. That was dumb.
That's so good.
So they just get like, they've polluted this area so bad that they just get these.
Yeah. It also commonly will snow, and the snow will be black or red, black or blood red, the snow.
That's just a bunch of yikes.
And it's common. Like, that's the thing that's like, it's common. It's not like You don't see that.
Like
you're
if you grew
oh my
up
gosh,
there
the
and you go
sun's-
somewhere else and you're like, whoa, you guys have white snow here?
The snow's white? I've never seen white snow in my life.
People are like, yeah, dude.
yeah. What?
Where are you from?
Excuse me. What?
Oh, I'm from the pit of hell. That's, oh, okay.
Oh, well, that makes more sense.
Yeah, you should have led with that.
Yeah. So, environmentally, it's a pretty rough place in the
Yikes.
world. They also had a giant diesel spill this year, in May of this year, where they spilled 20,000 tons of diesel fuel.
When is their summer? Is it like the same cycle as ours?
Yeah, it's the same summer cycle.
Okay.
So that was the very beginning of their day.
Yeah.
So
Rough day, huh?
rough day. Man, it's been a long day, huh?
Oh, man. I hate that. So that's rough.
There's probably an uncle who makes that joke every year.
Every year.
Man, what a day.
Oh.
What a day it's been.
What is that accent? Do that again.
What a day.
What a day.
What a day
What is
this
that
has been.
Is that a Canadian guy?
I don't know. It's an uncle. That's an uncle.
It's an uncle. It's not a national accent. It's an uncle accent. Don't you know how
It's an
uncles
uncle.
talk?
Yeah.
All right.
Haven't you ever heard an uncle before?
So they exported the nickel and the platinum, and
Yeah.
that's basically just what they're doing out there.
Yeah, that's like the job. Here's as if all of this wasn't like spooky enough. Remember when it was a gulag?
Yeah.
Remember when we talked about that? How many minutes ago was that? You don't have your watch.
About 18 minutes ago, because it's
what-
currently
Yeah.
3:38.
What? I'm actually really impressed. It's 3:39.
Ah, yeah, it is.
I'm really impressed. This is so dumb. But yeah, so you remember when it was a gulag?
Yeah.
When they killed people, what they would do is they would just throw the bodies into the river, because they were just
The
like,
Red River?
Yeah, it wasn't red yet.
Okay.
They would just throw the bodies in the river. And so in the summer, that one day of summer, every summer the ice thaws and the bones rise to the surface, and there's just bones floating in the river, human bones. And nobody has ever been like, we should get those out of there. They just let them freeze back over and sink to the bottom, and every year they just float back up. These gulag
Still?
prisoners. Yeah, every year the bones just. Why is this place so terrible? I don't understand.
It was like, yeah, come in May and you'll see the Bone River.
Yeah, come.
What did you you say? The Bone River? Yeah, or Black Snow. Why are you saying things like they're normal when they're not normal?
These are not normal things.
That's like I was in Alabama doing a show in Decatur, Alabama. Okay, in Decatur, Alabama, there's a man who stands outside the Family Dollar and is dressed as Michael Jackson and just dancing on the corner, and that's like what he does. And people just give him money, and I was like, "That's not normal." We're driving, and I went, "Whoa! Did you guys see that guy?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, our dancing Michael Jackson guy." No. Why are you saying Black Snow? Why are you saying Bone River? Why are you saying dancing Michael Jackson guy?
Okay.
Like that's just like, yeah, doesn't your town have one? And you're just like, oh, okay, sure. I guess so. This is just normal.
Yeah.
There's still bones in the river right now.
Yeah, they just float up, and then it freezes over and they sink. And every year that cycle happens, and nobody's ever been like, let's get those out of there.
That at
That's
all.
weird.
Don't like
Let's pick
that
'em up.
at all. Ugh.
Yeah, it's a mess, man. And so they also have, if you travel to the city center, they have like this they call it the Golgotha. It's like a memorial to the Gulag prisoners. Right next to that is a Quick Trip where there's this dancing Michael Jackson.
I don't like that I was with you. I don't like that I was tracking with you.
So the Russian government, needless to say, a while back was like, yeah, you can't go there. So foreigners aren't allowed without like express permission.
Obviously, yeah.
to go. And obviously, on account of the fact that it's very hard to go in or leave, they don't want any people that are even Russian
Getting
to
stranded
go
out
in
there.
or
Right.
go out. But in let's
I
see.
feel like they've got a few places you're not allowed to go, and that's a pretty sketchy thing, you know?
That is a sketchy thing. Yeah, Putin paid a visit to it, and he was appalled by the city and said, "Hey,
He's like, what? There's not enough bones in this river.
this river needs to be a little more bony." This river's not. There's not enough bones.
There's not enough bones, and what is this like blue mist?
Yeah.
This isn't a fog.
Yeah. Get that blue fog
Work
here.
harder. So Vlad went out there though.
Yeah, Vlad went out there, and he was not a fan, and he told the company to make it better, not the government, because there really isn't a government there. He said, "Hey, can you guys do better?" And they actually are trying. They're trying, but they're not making a lot of progress. So Norilsk, pretty bad place. Don't know why anybody lives there. A lot of people do, and they're actually strangely proud to live there.
Yeah,
it's a very Russian thing to do.
You live in a bad. Like, I mean, think about like. So like you live in a really rough place, right? Like a bad place. So your options are either be like, because everyone hates it. Everyone's like, that place is just terrible, right?
Yep.
So your option is either like, everyone's right, yeah, you're terrible, or you dig your heels in and you go, no, I freaking love it here, right? Because like, look at Arkansas. I just did shows in Arkansas and I made fun of Alabama, and then at the end of those jokes, I said, just so you know, when I do shows anywhere else, I say those things about Arkansas. And then they all went, Mah. And I literally, two in the room, and I went, oh, you guys can't take the jokes, okay. And then I kept going on with the set. But there was a few minutes where they didn't like me anymore.
They literally went, Mah.
They literally, like, I felt the room go, Mow. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, you guys don't know. You can't look out the street and be like, oh, yeah, we deserve this. This is why I don't get booked in Arkansas.
Yeah. That and all the fiddle offs.
Hey, thanks so much for watching Things I Learned Last Night. If you like that, there are more episodes you can watch, or you can watch some highlights, but please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode in the future.